Facing Your Bully, Stories from My Life. Facing Your Bully, Stories from My Life. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne, and we are having this gorgeous day out today. And I went for my 5-mile run and did all my college schoolwork. And life is just beautiful today. It's absolutely beautiful out here. And I've been sitting out here on Grandma's porch and just enjoying the nice breeze, and it's all been so wonderful. So I got to thinking about this story from my life, and I'm calling it Facing Your Bully. When I was little, I used to go to my grandma's house, and I would talk to my grandma about just about everything. And she had the best wisdom of anyone I've ever known. It was very simple wisdom. And so many of you already know the story. I had a little boyfriend when I was 5 and he was 6. He was next door, and he played with baby dolls, and he was kind of a nerd, very cute, wore big glasses, and played with baby dolls. And he was a straight A student. And so we went to kindergarten together. And as we were kind of the poor family, and he was the rich family in that small town. Now, rich in our small town was being able to buy a new car every couple years. And I think in their case, they got a Chevy Impala every couple years. And our being poor, we had the old car that often only ran in reverse. And I've told you all that story before. So anyhow, Kirby was his name, and we would walk to school every day together. But the bullies began to really pick on Kirby a lot. And even at one point, they knocked his glasses off and broke them. Now, the bullies were about 2 years older than us, a year or two older. So they were probably like 7 and 8. He was 6, I was 5, and we were in kindergarten. And I think the bullies were in 1st and 2nd grade. And so basically, one day, the bullies were just being so mean. I went home and cried. And so we went to my grandmother's that day, and I sat outside and I told her what was happening. And she said to me, she said, "Face your bully. You're stronger than the bullies." And so I remembered that. She told me the story about Davy and Goliath. And so the next day I went to school, and Kirby and I were walking along, and of course the bullies were following us and taunting us. And I remembered what my grandma said, "Face your bully." So I turned around, 5-year-old me, and I stopped, and I directly looked the bullies in the eye. There were 3 of them. And they looked back at me, and they were laughing, and they were coming closer. Now, back in the early 60s, and that's what it was, there was no such thing as harassment, and basically you were on your own pretty much. I mean, it was not like it is today with all the rules in place and all that. We didn't have cyberbullying, but we had a lot of bullying back then. And so I turned around and I pretended to start to charge at them like a bull would. I kind of took my foot and kind of scraped it back and forth, on the ground like a bull would do. And I started snorting a little bit, and I kind of arched my shoulders, and then I started approaching them. They were stunned. Absolutely stunned. They started running in the opposite direction, and they were screaming all the way back home as I chased them almost to their houses. And you know what? Those bullies never, ever bothered us again. They never bothered us again. And they would walk way behind, because I would turn around and I would look at them and I would stop, and they would just jump back. All it took was that one time of me facing my bully. And, they never bothered Kirby either, as far as I know. We moved away a year later to another small town nearby, and Kirby and I kept in touch for a very, very long time. But I don't think they ever really bothered him again. I think they were afraid of me. Facing your bully. Now, of course, that was Grandma's advice. I don't give advice. I don't give suggestions or anything like that. But that is the way I handled it way back then when I was little. And so whenever I came across a bully in life, it depended. Some bullies I just totally ignored. They weren't worth my time in most cases. But on occasion, if I came across a bully, let's say at work, let's say at, maybe in a group activity or whatever, I usually I go right up to them and I say, you know what, I feel like I'm being bullied, or something along that line. And usually that's all that it takes when I just confront the situation. I stand up to them and say, you know what, don't bully me, or don't try to intimidate me, or don't talk down to me, or whatever the case may be. Now, adult bullying is often a lot different than childhood bullying. And so often it's a lot more subtle. And but I'm a pretty direct person. Now, I'm not suggesting being direct by anybody. I'm saying that that's how I handle it. I pretty much call out a bully. And I face my bully because I always remember what Grandma taught me, face your bully. Because if you don't face your bully, often the bully will just get bigger and bigger and bigger and more powerful. And often we're a lot stronger than our bully. And it reminded me of David and Goliath, the story from the Bible. I think it was Davy and Goliath, something like that. Or maybe I'm thinking of the TV show Davy and Goliath. I don't know, the little children's TV show that I used to watch when I was growing up. And then my children watched it growing up with the little dog and the little boy. But yeah, I believe that. I believe that bullies usually are very insecure people. They're usually people that are unhappy, that don't feel good about themselves. So they have to go around bullying someone to make themselves feel bigger and better. And they usually prey on people that usually they deem to be weaker. And in this case, it was Kirby. And being that I was Kirby's friend, they bullied me as well. And of course, this is back in the early 60s, like 1962 or 63, something like that, whenever I was 5 years old. And, times were very different. Bullying was just kind of what it was. There were no bullying kind of rules or regulations, and usually teachers looked the other way and principals looked the other way and said, fend for yourself, that type of thing. It was much different in those days. I mean, riding on a school bus was much different. I mean, the stuff that went on back then could never go on now without it being, someone being thrown out of school or whatever. But those were different days and different times, and my lesson was face your bully. Okay, well, back to Grandma's porch, a beautiful day. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. May God bless you, and stay strong, stay well, stay happy, and I'll talk to you all soon again. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.